This video demonstration will explain the setup and usage of the Edge Clamp Joinery Jig for the desktop and Desktop Max tools. The kit will include the assembled Edge Clamp Joinery Jig, two 3/8 inch by 1 inch wooden dowels, a 4mm hex key, and a 1/4 inch drill rod. You will also need a 1/4 inch upcut bit to cut the holes for the fence and the tenons. A T-handle hex wrench can help make the installation easier. This video also has an accompanying document that can be followed along with. Now to install the Edge Clamp accessory. Remove the spoil board with at least the first 3 pieces of decking attached. Unscrew each of the 4mm hex screws, holding the decking in place. Then lift the spoil board with the decking attached off and away from the tool. Keeping the spoil board and decking as one piece will make reinstallation much easier. Place the Edge Clamp Joinery Jig on the table in place of the deck and push it against the back piece of decking. Then, using 4 of the 4mm decking screws, securely attach the jig to the tool. Now that the jig is installed, we can create the design and toolpaths to cut out the dowel holes. The demonstration will be using Vectrix VCarve Pro design software, and we will show the desktop and Max parameters side by side for quick reference. These parameters can also be referenced in the accompanying document. Create a new job with the material size of 21 inches by 6 inches by 3/4 inch. Now draw a 3/8 inch circle at -3/16 by 5 inches. And another circle at -3/16 inch by 1.5 inches. If creating a second fence, we can do it now by making another circle at 18 3/16 inch by 1.5 inches, and another at 18 3/16 inch by 5 inches. Once complete, close this window, then select all of the circles to cut. With the circles selected, choose the Profile Toolpath option. With a cut depth of 3/8 inch, using a 1/4 inch upcut bit as an inside-the-line toolpath with a spiral ramp. Shown are the settings being used for the 1/4 inch bit. Name the toolpath something like index holes and click Calculate to create the toolpath. Close this window, then select to save this toolpath using the Shopbot TC-Inch post processor. If you want to save this VCarve design file now, click File Save As and choose a location to save to for later use. Transfer the Shopbot cut file to a flash drive or other external media, and bring it to the Shopbot control computer. Move the file to the computer off of the external media before running it. Do not run it directly from the external drive. Now to set up the machine. Launch the Shopbot 3 software on the control computer and connect to the tool. Run the XY0 routine now if it has not yet been run. Raise the Z to access the cutter and install the 1/4 inch drill rod. Be sure the drill rod is sticking out far enough from the collet to clear the table surface and make contact with the edge of the aluminum deck. Move the tool just past the deck and lower the Z so the rod sticks out below the deck by about 1/4 inch. If the rod is not far enough down in the collet, adjust it now. Once the Z is in position, carefully move the gantry in the positive direction towards the table surface. It can be helpful to use the fixed mode in the keypad to incrementally move closer to the deck until the rod just makes contact with it. Close the keypad once the rod has made contact. Double-click the gantry's axis in the red position window to open the axis location window. Make note now of the current location values, as they can be used for quick reference later to get back to this 0 location. Enter -1/8 of an inch for the new gantry location. Open the keypad and raise the Z-axis above the surface, and move the Z-car to 3 1/4 of an inch. And zero it at this location. Move the tool with the keypad out of the way to remove the upper clamping bar. Remove this bar by unscrewing the 2 handles all of the way. It can take quite a few turns on the clamps to remove them fully. Now raise the Z-axis and remove the drill rod. Then install the 1/4 inch upcut bit. Zero this bit in the Z-axis to the top of the spoil board using the Z0 routine. Don't forget to remove the plate and clip when the 0 routine is complete. Make sure the VFD is powered on and set to the correct RPM. Then run the index hole file to cut the dowel holes. Once the file is done, clear out the holes and insert the dowels. Then reinstall the clamping bar. It is now that you could create your own shapes, or use the guide that follows to make some basic oval tenons. Back over to VCarve to create these oval tenons. Start a new VCarve job with a size of 15 inches by 12 inches by 3/4 of an inch. Use the Draw Rectangle tool and create rectangles with a size of 5.5 inches by 10 inches at the 0, location, with an anchor point in the bottom left. And another rectangle with a size of 5.5 inches by 3/4 of an inch at 0, with an anchor point in the upper left. Now select to create some 1.5 inch by 1/4 inch radiused external rectangles with a radius of 0.125 inches at a location of 3/4 inches by -1/2 of an inch and an anchor point in the bottom left. And another with a location of 4 3/4 of an inch by -1/2 of an inch, anchored in the bottom right. Select these tenons and the smaller rectangle. Then select the Mirror tool in VCarve. Make sure the Create a Mirrored Copy option is checked. Then mirror this selection onto the material by selecting the appropriate direction. It will now have a duplicate of the original side by side. Select the Draw Rectangle tool once more and create a 5 3/4 of an inch by 1 5/8 inch square cornered rectangle at a location of -1/8 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch with an anchor point in the upper left. To create the toolpath for the tenons, select the larger rectangle and the 2 lower tenons. Then select the Pocketing Toolpath tool. Set the cut depth to 3/8 of an inch using a 1/4 inch upcut bit with the same settings as the index holes file, and the offset cutting strategy. Name the toolpath something like tenons and click Calculate to create it. Now select the other 2 rounded rectangles and create a profile toolpath with a start depth of 3/8 of an inch and a cut depth of 0.376 inches. Using the same 1/4 inch upcut bit, the inside the line option, with a negative 0.005 inch allowance, and a spiral ramp. Name this toolpath something like mortises, and click Calculate. Select the Save Toolpath tool, check the Output All Visible Toolpaths to One File option. Save the design file now for later use if desired. Now that we are ready to run our mortise and tenon file, we can clamp our material in place. To clamp the material, loosen the upper clamping bar enough to slide the material under the clamp and up against the dowel fence. Align the board with the dowels and just behind the edge of the jig. Tighten down the cam handles with them in the vertical position until the clamp just touches the surface of the material. Don't fully tighten yet. Loosen the lower clamping bar and slide the vertical board into place. Use the left or right fence pieces to help hold the board straight. With the board high enough to act as a stop for the horizontal board, tighten the lower clamp. Press the horizontal board flush against the vertical board. Then fully tighten the top clamp and press down the cam handles to the horizontal position. Then adjust the height of the vertical board to flush with the top of the horizontal board and clamp into place. An option to further aid in the hold down is to use another piece of material on the opposite side of the material being cut to effectively act as a wedge. Now zero the bit to the top of the installed material using the Z0 routine. Don't forget to remove the plate and clip once it finishes. Then run the saved tenon toolpath file from the computer. Once the cut finishes, we have one complete mortise and tenon edge. This concludes the setup and usage of the Edge Clamp Joinery Jig for the Shopbot Desktop and Desktop Max tools.